You are listening to Plantastic Events podcast, episode number 007. Hey everyone, welcome to Plantastic Events. I'm your host, Noshin Panjani. This is a weekly podcast dedicated to help you plan your events with ease. Be sure to subscribe at stewjat.com and stay up to date. That's stewjat.com. Plus, you'll receive tons of resources, freebies, guides, and show notes. Thank you for joining, and now let's get into the show. Hey everyone, I'm your host, Noshin Panjani, and today we have a special guest, Shiva Turlapati. He is an entrepreneur and a movie producer. He is also the founder of Shiv's Institute of Dance. He has 3 dance studios located in Cummings, Alpharetta, and Marietta, Georgia. He specializes in a variety of dance forms and has more than 25 years of experience in the dance industry. I think for me, I've seen so many of his performances and how many he does with his kids and students. It's just phenomenal. I absolutely love your work. I absolutely admire how you work and your whole Dance Institute process, too. It's just amazing to me. So my first question to you is, how are you doing today?
I'm doing very well, Noshin. Thank you, first of all, for having me. And it's an honor to be here.
We're glad you're here. Definitely very exciting to talk to you. Can I ask, what inspired you? I mean, it's been 25 years, so I want to know what inspired you to start a career in the dance industry, and how did you end up coming up with Shiv's Institute of Dance?
Oh, it's quite a bit of journey. Initially, back in the day, there weren't no YouTube, no social media, and all that stuff, of course. So I used to learn dance at an institute in back home in India, in Hyderabad.
I'm from Hyderabad.
Oh,
Yay!
yeah. So our teacher used to show us the videos. Back in the day, there was video recording players with cassettes. So we used to see Michael Jackson.
Ah, nice.
So like many millions of dancers who non-dancers too, of course, fans of MJ. I was instantly spellbound to see how the way he performs on stage and his voice and his dance. So that's where it all started. When I was, this is what I believe when I was in 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
And from then on, yeah, I've been dancing and dancing and dancing, and then came to United States, and then I thought I looked at bunch of studios here. I thought it would be a good idea to start a dance studio here.
Yeah.
With whatever I've learned, thought I'll share with the community, and might as well, make it a business model too.
Yeah. I think if I had to compare any other performer out there, I would probably compare you to Michael Jackson, just because, I mean, it's impressive. I've seen you. I've seen you on stage, and I've been like, I've been shocked.
Thank you so much.
Definitely
man.
amazing.
No. There are a billion dancers out there. I mean, who are much better than me. It just all depends on the timing and the place you are in, and
Right.
it's all about that.
Yeah.
So it's destiny too.
Can you describe your first ever experience, like managing your first event?
Yeah. I actually. You mean here in the United States?
Anywhere, actually. Any first, like, dance event that you hosted?
I mean, we've hosted a lot. I used to work for Ramoji Film City back home. It's next after, I believe, to the Hollywood studios. So it's bigger than it's world's number one, area-wise.
Uh-huh.
It's in 2,500 acres, close to 2,000 acres. I'm sorry. So I used to work there in the entertainment department. So I used to manage quite a bit of events there. So there I remember one of the very big events was for the company called Electrolux. Electrolux.
Okay.
This is an Indian. I don't know if it's an Indian-based company. I don't know what it is, but it was a very big corporate. They were into refrigerators and all electronics.
Right.
So household electronics.
Okay.
So we did that event, and we had a lot of performers come out of state and out of country too for that event. So that was
Wow.
the first ever event I remember fresh in my mind still, and it was a 3-day event. So it was phenomenal. So they had all their VPs and CEOs and CFOs from all over, from different parts of country and all, even out from abroad. So
Wow.
it was fantastic. So that's when I started that interest. That it is very thrilling. So that nerve-wracking experience is what I love.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing to have that type of experience. And then how'd you make your way to the States and opening up, your studios here?
States coming to United States was again because again, as I said, there wasn't much going on in India at that time. There was no awareness about the dancing industry, and there were no YouTube channels or not any platforms, even on television, to showcase your talent.
Wow.
There was nothing.
Crazy.
This craze, I would say, has come in the past 10 years. That's about it.
Okay.
Maybe in the United States, maybe about maybe 20 years or so.
Yeah.
But again, you have only your music videos, MTV, and these kind of channels, where they can see music and dance. But there is no social media. There is no YouTube. There is no biggest thing is YouTube, I would say. After that, there are a bunch of things came out, but YouTube has actually opened up the market for everyone from anywhere to post anything they would like to.
Yeah.
So that way, it has become a universal platform for anybody. But then I came to United States to work actually in software industry. I kind of took a break for my dance.
Stereotypical for.
So, of course, right? So, I came here. I did work for a few years until I got my green card.
Okay.
And then I started my own studio.
Okay, that's cool. That's very cool. And I guess even in the States, too, you're right. I think it's probably about 10, 20 years. I think the whole phase started with things starting to show up on TV all of a sudden, like all these competitions.
Yep.
People started, they became intrigued about it. What is this? All of these dance competitions that are out there. And I think that kind of brought in, right? I'm sure, yeah.
Absolutely.
It's when I was at least interested. I don't know about everybody else, but
No, it did indeed. Actually, in India and here, I mean, here, I believe I don't know if that show is still up. I don't think it is. America's Best Dance Crew. It was about
I don't know.
7 years ago, 5 to 7 years ago.
Okay.
The Jabberwockies actually they came from that show.
Wow.
So now you see the tours they do.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of teams which came out of that thing, but they're the ones who actually
Became big shots.
became really big shots. So this is we're talking about almost five years ago, I believe. For 5 years ago, easily.
Okay.
And then now we have a bunch of Dancing with the Stars. So You Think You Can Dance. America's Got
Everything.
Talent. So many different platforms. There weren't any back in the day. Even I don't know. Even I believe we here too.
Yeah, same here. Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. So.
Not that I can remember back in the days, or at least not that big.
Yep. Not that big. Yes.
So I'm sure you have to deal with a lot of dance events, and you can't work single-handedly. I mean, I'm sure it's far too complicated to be a one-man team. Do you have to create like a super team that takes care of all of these, or like a committee that gets involved in your major events?
Yeah, in this, absolutely. I mean, I used to until I could, not anymore now. But now
Busy man.
I have, fortunately, touch wood, I have a wonderful team of talented instructors, talented people in overall management of the events and whatnot. So we do put a super team together for every event we do.
Okay.
So there is a action team which is always on the top of the line, and that team again assigns tasks to the people next to them, and then it's like we create a little bit of a hierarchy there, so it's easier to work. So everybody is given a task, and they will be given a deadline too.
Okay.
So they will make sure that they will complete that task within the given time frame.
Okay.
So that way we are able to achieve maximum output within that limited time.
Right. So do you do like a stage? I guess I'm curious because most of our listeners are event planners, and they're going to ask, what kind of a super team do you create? Is it someone that focuses on like backstage, costume changes, or they're all? I'm sure they're broken down by
Yes,
different types. Okay,
absolutely. The main thing would be, I mean, we do, as you said, and we have one person taking care of marketing. So we are marketing the event as we decide the venue and date, and once we made all the bookings and we're all good to go.
Right.
Simultaneously, that has to start. We start about 2 months to 3 months prior to the event, just so people know, because this is not an event for everybody to come, because not everybody would be interested to come. So this is a specific event. It's not like it's our dance school event, basically. So parents and their friends, and then their
friends, everybody.
They would, and it's a big crowd, of course.
It's a big crowd. I've noticed, like
You've
the
been
whole
there,
day.
so.
I've been there.
So you have come to one of our events, so you have seen the amount of people who show up. So again, touch wood, we have a very good success rate. As I said, again, coming back to the breaking the team, we have one person taking care of the marketing, all of them taking care of the choreography and making sure that all the groups are taught what they need to be performed, and the one person is taking care of the costume designing, and we offshore it sometimes, and we order it from all parts of different the world, online too. So it's all again, it's all broken down. So there's a bunch of stuff. So.
Yeah. And you work with a lot of kids. I'm just wondering, because I've seen the performances and I've been mind blown, just because I sat there and I'm like, how fast do they change the costumes are changing so quickly and they're back on stage. How is this possible? How do you do that?
You would not want to know that, because there is a whole a war zone in the backstage going on. So
we don't see it.
No, nobody. We don't want to show nobody what's actually happening in the backstage. But again, jokes apart, we are there's a bunch of volunteers in the backstage. A big team. We had the last event we had where we had about 50 to 75 volunteers just managing these little kids.
Oh my God!
Because they, of course, they are
running around.
They're running around. They don't know where to go, what to do, what to eat, what not to eat. We have again a bunch of instructions from the parents, what they can eat and what they cannot eat, and their
food allergies,
skin allergies, makeup allergies, rashes, this, that. We have a ton of things we do take care of and make sure that no kid is hurt or being harmed by any of this, makeup or costume or food or anything.
It's just impressive. It's shocking how good you guys handle it. And then I guess. Yeah, no, go ahead.
It's a total teamwork. It's not just, I would never take credit for the events we do.
Yeah.
It's just a part of, I'm a part of a team member. I have, the only thing I would say about my role is I have slightly more experience than my team. That's all it is.
25 years. You're being humble. Slightly.
Yeah, that's the only thing I just keep. Sometimes we do, are cool. Sometimes we all are in that phase where we're totally frustrated and exhausted.
Yeah.
So we try to calm down and then think about and take it easy.
Take it back. Yeah, take it back a notch.
Yep.
I'm sure do you have like celebrations or like parties after with your team?
Oh, yeah.
That must be exciting.
Actually,
that's cool.
More than parties, what we do is we disappear. We don't want to talk to anybody. We don't want to talk to even each other.
Even better.
For the next, at least a week, nobody's talking to nobody. So we just want to get out of that thing.
It's like a war zone.
Totally, because we're zoned out from our home, families, and this 24/7. We have this thought running, and how do we make it successful?
Yeah,
that is very important, because you don't want people to come there and complain about how bad the event was. Mm-hmm. It did happen, and I'm pretty sure all the event managers or very big event management companies also might have gone through that.
Right.
It's just not in your hands. At one point, it comes down to a place where it's not up to you to.
It's just moving.
It's out of your hands.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't wish that to anybody, but it did happen. But gladly we were able to bring it back into control within the time. But It is challenging. It is very challenging, and because especially when you're dealing with people, and you're dealing
And
with
parents.
yeah, that's
Even
another
more
thing.
difficult.
Different mentalities,
Yeah.
all coming from different backgrounds, so having different expectations from us.
Yeah.
So trying to meet all of those and bring them all onto one page,
not easy.
it's not easy. It's
I mean, I'm just going to give if I was a parent, I would want to be updated all the time.
Yes.
And I'd be like, what's happening with my child? What's going on over there? Trying to contact you.
True.
And if I have your cell number, I will more than likely call you and harass you. So I'm wondering, I'm sure you have to deal with a lot, and just wondering how you have to deal with like updating parents all the time. What are like the things that you kind of put in place?
We are pretty good with the communication
Yeah.
from what we've done so far, because we have our groups on WhatsApp. We communicate through emails.
Yeah.
If we need to call, we have we right now we have a 13-member team. That's on a
13 members. Yeah, pretty good.
Work
Yeah.
in between 3 studios. So we do, if you need to call, if it is an emergency, if you need to call this particular group, we want to call 20 different people, we do.
Yeah.
We go out the way and we do make that calls and make sure they are communicated, because not everybody, it's not necessary that everybody texts their messages and respond in time. So communication is the key.
Right.
And then some people still complain that we do not communicate. It's again,
It's a challenge.
It's a
what
challenge.
Are you gonna do?
We're in a business where we don't want to say we are right and they're wrong.
Yeah,
It is
absolutely.
not. That's not the way it works.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, because that is actually something to think about. I mean, it's challenging. And I noticed that one event, the last event that I attended, I was just I think for me, it was a nice experience to see how many times you actually, the founder, the person who started all of these things, got up to address the parents' needs. I found that beautiful, because that doesn't happen. I have not seen that in other events, that the person who is actually organizing the entire event, not only like for them, but for everywhere else and handling 100 million other things, got up on stage multiple times to address the parents' concerns, That was like a nice moment to see that. I think if I was a parent and I saw you do that, it would make me feel a little bit comfortable,
Absolutely.
that I put my kids in like, okay hands, like he's going to take care of this. It's okay.
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the trusts they come to our studio, that we do take that responsibility, and it's. I think it is. Anybody should do it, and if it's something which needs to be addressed in the right way and the right time, I mean, I think we should go ahead and do it. There's no thinking of hey, I don't need to, or I will not do it because it's the way it is. And I don't think I'm especially me. I'm not that kind of a person.
Right.
On the whole, so I was happy that we could address those concerns, and there was no other person they would listen to.
That's so true.
That is also important.
They want to hear it from you.
Yes,
only you.
Only me. So
yeah.
I did that because all my team were coming under pressure at that time. So I didn't want them to be working under pressure while the show was running on. So we don't want that to come. So that's why I came up on stage and I said what I said. But yeah, it is something. It is when it's needed. I mean, I have to back up. I have to back my team. I have to always have. I mean, here they have my back and I have theirs.
Absolutely.
So that's how it works.
How do you work with marketing? I'm sure. I mean, and it's not only for like parent and like kid events, those type of events, but for other events. How do you work with promoting or marketing or social media or any of those things?
Yeah, we actually. Again, whatever we have come up to, I mean, social media came recently.
Yeah.
I mean, very recently.
That's true. Very true.
We have our studio running almost like now for more than 7-8 years.
Wow.
Close to 10, I believe. So the word of mouth is the strongest, as many people say. It is the most important and the most strongest, I would say. That's how we built actually whatever we are here, we are now. It's all from the word of mouth. But again, social media is active now. All the kids are on social media, So we are now, we got into that for the past 1.5 years, I would say.
Right.
Now we are, this semester, we are very, very active on social media, I would say. Mm-hmm. So we post our videos, we keep updating.
I've seen it. I've liked them.
What we do, what is happening in the studio, what new programs we're coming up with, and what are the new events we are going to do in the near future. So it's all of it is on social media right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's actually pretty cool. And I think you're absolutely right about the word of mouth process. I think that's one of the strongest. Most people tend to overlook it, assuming that, okay, if I have my search engine marketing needs done here and I've got all my social media marketing done here, but they don't realize the strongest piece of it is word of mouth. That's when you truly know that your product or your company or your whatever you're trying to sell is valued. You know?
Exactly. That's a powerful thing. You will not vouch for a person. That's vouching for somebody you're not sure about.
You're not
It's not going to
selling.
happen. Yeah, you're not selling. I mean, you're
Yeah.
saying that you'll go to this place. You will be happy.
Exactly.
That's a very big thing, and that's the biggest reward you can get. I mean, somebody else is vouching for you and then marketing for you somewhere.
Yeah.
It's really I'd say it's phenomenal. So, and it's nothing more stronger than that.
Yeah, and the core group that you're working with, like let's say parents, for example. Parents speak with other parents. They also have probably the same age kids. Obviously, that would be the best way to transfer like your events or your news events that are coming up. So I think that's crucial.
Yes.
I think then definitely very good to hear that. I think knowing that a company was founded based off of word of mouth means a lot more. Means that your company has value.
Yes.
So it's exciting to hear that.
Thank you.
Do you have any tips, I guess, on engaging with your audience during this event? Like, I guess my question is, how do you work with parents getting involved in the process? Or like if kids are on stage, or even just generally, how do you engage with your audience that are sitting out there?
That is as always a challenge again.
Yeah.
So it's not. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So we just have to quickly change the gears and go back and forth. I mean, as far as our parents are concerned, again, once they know what we do, they are pretty cooperative, and we don't really need to do a lot.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the audience, we would want to present the most entertaining performances, and I make sure the MCs are really good.
Yes, your MCs were really on point.
Yeah,
It's good.
so
It's awesome.
they are the ones who are actually running the whole show.
Yeah.
So no matter what we're doing, it's the audience, the interaction. Those are the people. So they're the ones who are being constantly monitored by the audience, and they're judging by the audience if they like the event or not. Or else they will come outright judge you. The event
Yeah, and
sucks
you don't
because
want
the
that.
MCs were bad or they didn't know what they were doing. So that is another very important thing. So I guess engaging the audience would be, since we're a dance studio, I'd say our performances, the more innovative. As you said, you were there. We did come up with a lot of different kinds of performances this time, and we also
Yeah.
had very special performances which are very close to my heart, which was called Zindagi, which means life.
Yes, I love that.
Yeah, which is about the girl child, and how much struggle they have throughout their lives to become what they intend to become, and then
Right.
afterwards, because this is basically the theme was around rape. So
Yeah. And that's a hard topic
yeah,
to talk
it
about.
was a very sensitive topic, and it was on my mind for almost 4 years.
Oh, I can't even imagine.
Trying to do how with the kids, right? With all these teenagers and college-going kids, it's very hard to do and convince. They always wanted to do it, but how would we put it on stage in that performance point of
Yeah,
view?
right.
So, and then how would we convince the audience, especially the parents of the performing group? So, how would you feel if your child is up there doing that kind of act, and she is one of the victims?
That's tough.
But we did pull it off, and
Yeah.
the best part of that event was we got a standing ovation.
Yeah, that's
So
beautiful.
people were crying when I came out. I saw so many people crying, even dads. The men were crying, and that was one of the best moments of that event, and also one of the very, very memorable events of my life. Because that is something which you want to. I would like to portray more and more as much as I can. There is no other weapon. The only weapon I have is my students
Right.
and my whatever I've learned in my life, the talent I have. That is the only way we can actually emote, what we wanted to say, what we want to communicate with the whole community, and that's very impactful. I mean, when you see a movie, when you see a show, it actually stays with you for a long time.
Absolutely. I think I can see the passion that you have for this. I find it just absolutely inspiring. I think having that emotional attachment, especially when you're a parent, stay like in the audience and you see your child, you're kind of, even if it's not your child on stage, you're immediately visualizing your own,
Right. Absolutely.
or you, or someone someone that's close to you. Having that attachment, and even if it's in a performance, way, it's portraying something entirely different.
Correct.
You're sharing the stuff that's going on outside the world, things that people tend to hide or brush off. You're bringing it into light.
Absolutely.
You're saying this happens. Know it. Know that it could happen to yours.
Yes.
And
when I actually when we all decided, me and my team, we always wanted to do this. When we decided to do this particular theme, we actually I did a bit of research, and then as I was doing it, I'm from India, right? So always it's portrayed that in India there's a lot of rapes which are unreported.
Yeah.
They're not even documented. The people won't even come out to report the guys who did it. I was thinking, okay, so when is my country going to change? And then turns out that every country, including United States, have this. There are
it's everywhere.
Record number of victims, even in United States, which went unreported. It's everywhere.
Yeah.
And that's a very that's just made me sick to the stomach when I read some of the stories. And I absolutely decided, and we are doing it no matter what. We want to bring this awareness as much as we can.
Yeah. And the way that you bring it out, I think it's just nice to see that, Most people think, okay, it's just a dance performance. You're going for a normal event, but it's not. It's something greater. You're sharing a stand, and you're saying stand up for something like this.
Absolutely.
Make sure it doesn't happen. Make sure you take a fight for it. Stop hiding it. Bring it out.
Yes.
I find that beautiful. That means a lot to me. And not only as a woman, but knowing, I have nieces, nephews, everyone. And seeing your events, I was there. I've seen the performance too, and I stood up. I was in tears. I didn't know how to react. I felt that emotional pain immediately, and all through one performance. That was just beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much. It just means a lot. Thank you.
Yeah. And I guess, I wanted to know if you have any upcoming events that you would like to share with our listeners. And for listeners to also know, attend his events, actually see what's going on.
I would love to have people from outside to come and see.
Yeah.
Just to see, just see. I mean, we don't want to market in a way, we do this, we do better than other people. No. All the other dance studios, I'd say, everybody pretty much are in the same boat.
Yeah.
And there is this common perception of people hating each other. There is a competitive spirit. It has to be there. That's how we all grow. And everybody, anybody who's in this particular industry, came only because they are super super passionate about this art and talented, of course. So there is no beating around the bush at that point. It's exactly the people from outside, if they come out, and because a lot of people don't come out and see these events. But I guess we have to market in a higher level spectrum too, I believe, so that other people who are not part of the studio or who want to just come and see would have an opportunity to come and witness the event. And every event we are doing, we would like to send a message. And this time we do have an event coming up in March. We have our studio's annual events coming up.
Exciting! I'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to.
We can also do a podcast session on that too.
So that would be nice. And we are doing this time. We are doing a bit of a different concept. So every event we do, we want to at least have one performance which is out of this entertainment, just not entertainment. This is entertainment again, but say some message, something, some inner voice, which a lot of people, even though they know, they don't acknowledge.
Right.
So we're planning on doing something for people who cannot speak.
Wow.
Who cannot see, and who cannot hear. So we're putting all of that in one act, and it's very emotional again for us. When a person cannot speak, when a person cannot see, and when a person cannot talk. So that's very emotional. We have everything by God's grace, and we still complain. And and these people, it's amazingly talented people. So we want to bring that aspect out this time. So I would love for the people to come and see. We're trying our level best to bring that performance out the way we want it to.
Yeah.
So yesterday we had a rehearsal, so it is coming out nice. So we'll see.
And what date have you decided on, a date or venue?
We have 2 events back to back. So March 25th is our first event for our coming location.
Okay.
So it is happening at the Lassiter Concert Hall in Marietta.
Nice. Okay.
And the next event is for Marietta kids, that studio. And that's happening. We are actually between 2 schools right now, so we will decide that probably this week. So I would say we're looking at 2 different venues. We're not 100% sure which one we will go with.
Okay. Wow. Definitely exciting to know that, though.
Absolutely.
And how can folks reach out to you? Can they contact you through Facebook or?
Yes, absolutely. We have our Facebook pages for all our studios. So we have Shiv's Institute of Dance Facebook page for coming, and a separate page for Alfreda and separate page for Marietta. So they can reach out through Facebook. And we're all, of course, our website is sidbollywood.com. So they can reach through there too.
And that's SID.
SID.
Bollywood.com.
SID Bollywood. S Shiv's I Institute D Dance.
Awesome. So it's great to know that. And I guess we'll also add, for all of our listeners out there, we'll add his information to our page as well.
Thank you.
Just to distribute it out. Do you have any other resources that you would like to share with our audience, whether it be anything that you talked about today or anything else that you want them to know?
Not really. I think we talked pretty much about
quite a bit.
Covered. Yeah, quite a bit about the events. Maybe next podcast we will talk about. I would want to talk about the film production.
I was just thinking that.
So I've got into that. So we have a production house now. We have our own YouTube channels. We're starting to do content creation.
Yeah.
There on YouTube channels, and we would like to invite talent from that. So probably maybe after our events are done, for dance studio events are done, we'll do another one if the time permits, and probably invite a lot of talent. There's a ton of talent out there who did not
hidden
have
talent.
Who do not have the opportunities. And the more platforms, the better it is for everyone.
Right.
So we would want to do that. So we are planning on doing some bunch of music videos and some short films and a bunch of stuff. So we would definitely. I would love to have people or your listeners to listen and come and see us, and who knows
where it goes. Exactly.
Absolutely.
I think we're probably going to have another session with you. I was realizing that as I was talking to you. I was like, we're going to have a part 2 with you just to talk about your whole movie industry and your film production.
I hope people like this one. Maybe we'll see.
They will love it.
Yeah.
The passion shows through, and I think that's what counts, And with you, it's clear, whether it be via podcast or on stage.
Thank you.
So it doesn't matter what the platform is. It's just how your passion shines through. And I think our listeners can see that too. So
I hope so. Thank you so much for that. As I said, if everything goes well, we will do it. And it would be nice. That's a whole different concept altogether.
Yeah.
So movies, film production, the direction, it's all a completely different ball game.
We'll have to have a part 2 with you.
Yes. So
for sure. So
nice.
All you listeners, I'm sure I'm going to get contact information asking about that. And I will let you know when that's going to come out as soon as possible. But it's been an honor, an absolute honor to have you on our show today. And it's just been great to hear your stories and hear your start.
The honor is all mine, Noshin. Thank you so much for having this. And I'm very happy to be here. It was wonderful. I've never done this before, so...
Cool. Well, you've been on stage in front of millions, so there's that.
That's a whole different experience.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye, listeners.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Although the event industry includes a lot of stressful work and late meetings or late events, just remember, that every event you help to bring to life creates memories of a lifetime for many people out there. Did you love this episode of Plantastic Events? We'd love for you to subscribe, rate, and leave a review on iTunes. Each week, we'll give a shout out to the Reviewer of the Week. Also, don't forget, we have resources available at stewjap.com. Thank you for listening, and I hope you'll join us next time. Goodbye. Produced by stewjap.com. Music by Justin Mahar.